close, learn some quick facts about depression and see how the signs can manifest differently in men, women and children. Finney, the Register, Grandma Kirsch had a lobotomy. You know, my mother's unexpected revelation left me momentarily speechless. No, I didn't know Grandma Kirsch had a lobotomy, I thought. How could I have known? We were sitting on the deck of my mother's condo in Ankeny. I took a sip of wine and tried to collect my thoughts. Finally, I asked the obvious question, "Why, oh, you have no idea what she was like then?" she said. When I turned to look at her, I saw that her face was mostly in shadow. Mental health. Iowa passes historic overhaul of mental health programs. It was early evening and the temperature was dropping as the sun went down. She was crazy, my mother said. But after she came back, she was cured, I thought. Some doctor sticks a knife-like instrument in Lorraine's brain, twice, and everyone thinks that's fine and they all live happily ever after. The unexpected news hit me particularly hard because I had idyllic childhood memories of family visits to Grandma and Grandpa Kirsch's house in Fairmont, Minnesota. They moved there from Fort Dodge, not long after Lorraine returned from the mental hospital in Cherokee in August 1954. I imagine word of her lobotomy got around quickly and made life in Fort Dodge uncomfortable for Tony and Lorraine. The other reason why my mother's disclosure affected me was that I had just left a mental hospital in suburban Fort Worth. A confrontation with my editor sent me into a downward spiral. Looking back, I think my mother was trying to make me feel better, to say, "Okay, you had a tough time, but it was nothing compared to what Grandma Kirsch went through." She was correct. My 3 days in the hospital in Bedford in 2004 were tame compared with what Lorraine encountered 50 years earlier in Cherokee. Lobotomy. Richard Meredith's tragic story. Still, I felt closer to Grandma Kirsch after my mother opened up to me that night in Ankeny. That bond caused me to make multiple trips, pilgrimages, really, to the Cherokee Hospital in subsequent years, to take photographs of the artifacts in the museum there. I actually got to hold one of the instruments used to perform lobotomies, and felt a chill when I realized that it may have been the very one used on my grandmother, and many other people. That research has taught me many things. One is that the stigma of mental illness still persists, even if it has lost some of its power. Even though my mother believed the lobotomy cured Grandma Kirsch, she kept it a secret from me until I was in my 50s. If I hadn't spent time in the mental health system myself, my mother might never have told me. And I wouldn't have embarked on my own journey of self-discovery. John Kirsch photo, special to the Register. John Kirsch was born in Fort Dodge. He worked for newspapers in Iowa and Texas. He lives in Mexico City. He can be reached at kirsch34@hotmail.com. Read or share this story, https://dmreg.co/2lueo6u